TPS and DACA have been hitting the news very hard lately, and I mean very hard. Politics, just in general, with a combination of race, just strikes up controversy that, including myself, get really spiked up about. I mean, we argue so much about, well, this is right and this is wrong. We end up just having a full-on battle for the longest time. People do know who's right. It just comes to a conclusion on which one makes more sense. Besides all of that, I really wanted to talk about something that we hear every day. You probably hear every day. And it goes back to the N-word. Now, the N-word has a lot of context. It has a lot of meaning to it. And in my personal opinion, there are a lot of things that I think that we miss about the N-word that we just use out of context. Now, for a fun fact, I don't know if you already knew this or not, but the N-word had a context of being with color. Well, which it still does, but it's just not in that effective meaning as it is now today. People use the word Negro to describe a color, yes, black, which is also a color on, like, you know, crayons and stuff. The N-word was mainly used to describe a color with the Spanish and the Portuguese language back there, as in coloring black. Later, the English then took the word and then they had used it for their own, which was also still with color, but then also turned it into a derogatory meaning, which had basically used as an insult for, well, black people. Besides the ER point, what about just the word nigga? I mean, we say that word a lot. A lot of people say that word. Black people say that word. I say that word. I mean, everybody says that word. No, everybody says that word. The context of the word nigga really does have a unique meaning to it. In my personal opinion, I used to think that nigga was just something that you called somebody else, as in saying, yo, what's good? That's what I had thought. I think maybe around like the age of 12, 13, around those times, that's when I had thought that, yo, when you say the word nigga, this means that you're saying, yo, what's up to somebody else, or maybe like in the friend context. I remember a time when I had even sat in the car with my dad and we were heading to Walmart. I had my hood up and this man looked at me. He was all like, do you want to be like one of those niggas? And I absolutely started dying because this man had said the N-word. I was like, Dad saying N-word? What? I was about to be like, man. But mainly, I think that after I had asked him, after all that little small talk, I had asked the man and I was like, yo, I thought that was a bad word because, you know, it's not like I was gonna go say my nigga to my dad. Like, it's something that I just wouldn't say. And then this man looked at me and he said, nah, it's something that, you know, black people usually use as a brothership. And I was like, huh, interesting. Which is surprisingly true. I mean, you do see a lot of black people talking to other black people or, you know, like saying, yo, what's good, my nigga? Like, what's up? In these contexts. And I mean, we're facing the facts here. This is what is actually been used. You don't say nigga to be like, yo, you don't talk to your teacher saying, yo, Mrs. G. Yeah, I didn't do the homework, but you my nigga, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. You don't see that ever happen, like it just doesn't happen. But mainly, I also find it unique how other races tend to use it though. And it also strikes a controversy when you talk about this as well. I mean, why can't white people say it? Well, it goes back to also the history behind the N-word, as the N-word was used as an invective towards black people in slavery. I mean, you would hear nigger instead of saying nigga, and when people would say the ER part to it, well, overall, white people also do have the question, and not just actually Caucasians, Hispanics as well. And it also goes back to, well, how come certain Hispanics can say it, and how come certain Caucasians can say it? Well, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I don't know. That also goes to what you think about it, because I don't want to make a statement that's politically incorrect, and then next thing you know, people start coming at me for saying, well, you're wrong. I do have a friend also, I want to also point out, she made a comment to me the other day because I was in an Xbox Live party, and I was talking with my friends, and I have a nice Caucasian homie that, you know, we game around, but he says the N-word like it's nothing. And I told her about this and she was all like, well, Gabe, why did you get affected? And I was like, to be honest, I don't know. It gets to the point where if you tell them, well, hey, yo, that's not cool, you shouldn't be saying this, they're gonna apologize. Maybe they will apologize, maybe they won't even apologize, and at that point they won't even care. I mean, they're like, yo, I mean, it's just a word, I can say it, like, bro, like, why are you coming at my neck right now? Again, it strikes up more controversy. And my question is, what do we do about it? what can we do about saying the N-word? I mean, people are still gonna say it to this day. I mean, it goes back to nature versus nurture. I mean, if you are in a location where you were raised up to be taught this word and you heard it all around, I mean, then the trend's gonna continue growing. I mean, it just spreads around, it just happens. Same thing with cuss words, but that's a whole different other story. In conclusion, I really want to say this. The only reason why I decided to talk about this topic is because it's always been on my mind. I mean, it's just wanted to hear what the general public would have to say about this. Do you even say it? Like, maybe you say it. Do you say it? I said it like 4 times in this video, maybe 8. I'll go back and count. My real question also comes back to saying, what do you guys think of the N-word? Do you think that what do you think that the N-word means? Do you think that it means like brother? Do you think that it means an invective? And I'm also talking about just nigga, not the N with the ER. We don't want the hard R. I mean, we already know what the hard R stands for. It's still used as an invective to this day. I mean, it's not socially acceptable, but how come nigga is? So let's also think about that. And also, I mean, before you even say it today, even thinking about it, think to yourself this. If Grandma Jane came to your house today, would she want to hear you say nigga? Probably not. For me, she's like, hey kids, what's good, niggas? Oh snap.